Hello. Just doing an update here on my saltwater molly experiment with algae removal, and I'm going to go ahead and call it a complete bust. And I confirmed that with several other folks at my local fish store. They had similar experiences. As you can see here, I moved him up to my display tank. The one thing that I can say he has going for him, the mollies are the only fish I have ever added to this tank where there has literally been no territorial issues. The other fish just literally ignore them. I don't know if it's just because it's a black molly or if it's just so small that the other fish just don't even consider it worth their time to bother with it or what. The other bit of bad news, unfortunately, you may notice I'm focusing on only one of them here. Yeah, the other one did end up starving to death and dying because it refused to eat the other food, even the seaweed and other greens and stuff I put in there. So as such, this guy who's been more adaptable will actually eat the reef frenzy and some of the other things that come in there. So he does serve a somewhat useful function in that he ends up eating some of the extra food bits that would normally just go to waste in the tank. But as far as like going around and chomping and mowing down algae like they're supposed to, I haven't seen any of that. Normally it just sits up here in the top of the tank just hanging out day and night, and that's really all it does. I did find something else about them that I found actually rather a little bit irritating. This guy today bit me multiple times as I attempted to add new snails and hermit crabs to my tank. Apparently it thought that my fingers were a chunk of food or something, but it kept nibbling on them. So nothing that really hurt, mind you. It's just more of a tickle, which is kind of frustrating when you're trying to sit there and self-acclimate turbo snails and hook them up to the top of your tank and you got this little fish nibbling on you. So anyway, I mean, obviously this guy will hold on to just because he adds another fish to the tank, and you know, he doesn't bother anything, doesn't cause any problems, and he does help you a little bit of excess food. But if you're looking for algae removal, I would definitely say saltwater mollies are not the route to go. The fluconazole, as mentioned in the other video, is by far more effective. That's the most effective algae treatment that I've seen thus far. After sharing some experiences with other people, that they agree that the fluconazole is the way to go if you're getting overrun with hair algae or bryopsis that you just want to get rid of. So anyways, that's kind of an update, but you know, unfortunately didn't do the job that I wanted him to, but it did add another cheap, cool little fish to the tank that doesn't cause any problems really, other than nibbling on my hand. And he does help eat some of the excess food in the tank, so not a total loss, but unfortunately, as I said, with the other fish, he ended up actually, the other one, twice in my filter sock. He ended up in the overflow and going through the drain pipe. And by the time I pulled him out of the filter sock the second time, he was so thin and wasted away that just, unfortunately, there was just nothing I could do for him. So he ended up dying. So, but yeah, so saltwater mollies, a bust for algae, you know, but you know, it's a cheap fish to add to your tank if you want to test it out, I guess, or just have another little fish that you want to add to the tank that isn't going to bother anything. So anyways, that's all I've got, and thanks for watching.